Hi everyone, it's Ayesha here from God FM, and I want to talk about today the fact that Pegasus and Stingrays being put on our devices, and there isn't anyone that is set up as a consortium to help targeted individuals. Today's the 11th of June 2026. So I want to explain a bit about the Stingray and all of that kind of things as well. I also want to talk about targeted justice, who seems to have been set up to round up the targeted individuals. They're not really here to help anyone. They're funded by the CIA. That's what my sources say. So this also means that all the information that they feed you is incorrect. And so you're led to believe the things that they fed you as information. They have led you to believe that they are fighting this. They're going to court. They're raising awareness with various government authorities and organizations and governing bodies, but they're not. They've got a group of people who have joined them thinking that they're part of the fight, but they're not part of the fight. They're part of the takedown of the innocent children of God. And it's a very clever way of rounding them up as well. I don't think I've ever really joined Targeted Justice. I've joined some of their groups maybe, and I've shared information. But you should know that, I've been contacted by so many fake targeted individuals. So many fake targeted individuals. These people can pay off targeted individuals. They can pay off your family. They can pay off your friends. They can pay off your neighbors. And they've got so much money. They've got resources that are beyond your comprehension. And this is from the child trafficking operation of eating people and breeding people, and sacrificing children to the devil and drinking children's blood. Once they've sold their soul, they lose the lifeblood of their blood, and they're cloned. Their consciousness is uploaded to the cloud, and they are copied. I've had many people come against me, and I believe they've been replaced with plastics. That's what I think. Okay. I also want to talk about my daughter's dream that she had a couple of years back about her my other daughter, older daughter, that she had problems with her phone connecting with her brain, and she had no control of her mind in the dream, the older daughter. And she'd come to my younger daughter in the dream and said, we need to go to the Apple store to try and get this fixed because Apple can help us. And so they'd gone to the Apple store in the dream so she could get control of her consciousness, because the phone had somehow been integrated into her mind. And this again confirms what I've been saying. Okay. And this dream just popped in my head the other day. I was like, oh yeah, that dream. That confirms everything I've been saying as well. I think it's because I went to the Apple store that this memory of this dream was jogged in my mind. So basically your phone is an interface. Apple is complicit with this. It has to be. There's no way Apple would design devices that they will not scan for spyware. They purposely have designed these phones to track you, to monitor you. With the Apple Watch, the same. On my phone, I've got an Apple Watch. On my iCloud account, I don't have an Apple Watch. I've also got a translate type multi-language thing as well, which I never put on there, but I know that the child-eating, blood-drinking psychopaths who want to terrorize me day and night have put it on there. I also know that whenever I put a SIM card of mine in my phone, it records it, keeps it, and even if I take it out, it's still got it as a SIM card. And then I'm getting little bars showing up on my device if I haven't got a SIM card in, because it's connecting and uploading and downloading data without even being connected to the internet. And this we can prove also because Apple can locate your device without a SIM card. So there must be a type of operating system. Okay, let's talk facts. There must be a type of operating system networking that is right alongside our internet that you don't know about. And that's where I've talked about this before. It's not the dark web and it's not your usual web. It is an interface, platform, communication, worldwide web that is sitting alongside and backs off and operates through the current system, the nearest system that you're on, and it automatically connects to it. So what we have then is we've got really advanced operations on devices and phones that are tracking you, following you, keeping a track of how many footsteps you take, even if you wrap these things up in tin foil. I've been to Apple and they've denied that their phones are hackable. We've got the fake children of God hunting down the real children of God and installing spyware onto their devices so they can track, monitor, follow, hack, stalk, terrorize, home invade, put nano in the water, integrate this into their operation and control your biometrics and your mind and take your mind as well. And also these nano things that are put into your water, food and air, construct inside your body. They are tiny, 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 and they grow the length of an arm when one of the lights are put on. This is why they've had to change all the lights. And this is a grid system, and this is the lockdown actually as well, which is not an announced lockdown. It's a lockdown, and it's also a head count on all the living people. That's why you've also always got to confirm that you're human. They've put things in the food to make people stupid and dumb, and they don't torture and terrorize and hack and stalk and do all of these things to everyone. So everybody out there who isn't having this happen looks at you like you're crazy because the government know, the police know, targeted justice know, Apple Store knows, all the phone providers know. This is all integrated through your television, which is operated through the subnet mask. I've told you about that as well. The 255, 255, 255. And your Wi-Fi router can read your room and basically switch on lights and connect up with your device, even if it's not connected to the internet. All right? Are you getting me? And it can connect up with devices in your home, appliances, and your neighbors, of course. Don't forget that. So this is the secondary network that I've been talking about. And how's this operated? Well, most of the world is a grid, and it's like a chip. So it's like a circuit board, and we are the conductors, and we give this thing energy somehow. This is all about the ether, which they robbed from us in the Garden of Eden. Now I'll try and explain it again. God made Adam and Eve, and God has the penis and she has the sheath. What's the difference between he and she? She has an S in front of her name. God writes with the T and she writes with an S. God is the penis, pen is. He writes on a sheet of paper, a sheath as in a vagina. He thinks it, he writes it in ink, and then he speaks it, and then it manifests as an image. Somewhere between that, she didn't eat the sheet. She didn't eat it. She ate sheet, right? So the devil did. And so we got robbed of the ether, which is the main construct that connects up with our biometrics and connects us to the earth. And our consciousness and our subconsciousness in this reality and every other reality, this is also why we have time. I'm trying to explain it to you. Time, space, and matter cannot exist without the ether. And he took that from us. When we had this incident in the garden and said, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you shall surely die. He wasn't joking around. We got enslaved to a matrix system. The matrix time she at, as in the ether, is her element. And that is why she will strike his head. Okay? As in Eve will strike the head of the devil. Okay? The devil eats the soil because he is so ill. Soil. The devil is dead, lived backwards, okay? And the devil is about corrupt words and lies. So that's why they do spells, because they got to spell out the words, but they're not doing the real written word. They're doing their version of it, and everything's about the word. The word written, the word spoken, the word in ink, the word in think, the word in image, the word in flesh. As in the written word, the word of God. In heaven and on earth and in the Bible. These are three different realities. God has brought the reality of his word to us in that he has written it and put it in a book. He is then the word in heaven, and he has created the image of Adam, the second Adam, who died on the cross and completed a sentence for sins he did not commit, for crimes he did not commit, but also a set of words, so that we can execute his will. Now, Jesus is the second Adam. We've got a second Eve that's got to come. Because it's her womb, matrix womb. The matrix, the womb in the Bible is a matrix womb. Now, I want to explain that to you as well. So when you come from heaven, God thinks it, speaks it, writes it, and then speaks it. And it comes into being as an image. And this is the refining of the silver. As you make silver, you've got to stand and watch it until it's refined perfectly, and then you can see the image. So we're actually in that process right now, being refined through the fire, okay, of God. So in this process, we've been robbed, okay, so that the image, if you like, it's got little bits being thrown into the silver to try and destroy it, okay? Because the devil took control of some of the elements. If you watch that film, The Fifth Element, that's also kind of giving you clues that she had supernatural powers, this lady. And she was called the Fifth Element. And the ether is the fifth element also. So they'd been trying to tell you, and she was the fifth element in the film, right? So the woman in this story, as in the Bible, his story, is the ether, as in her. And it's all about her. She ate. So that's why it's Her Majesty, yeah? Oh, it's very hard to explain it. But it takes two to tango. The man and the woman become one. Okay? And so she has to eat the word of God. And so the other half of the human, as in the Adam, and now the Eve, has to eat and actually take part in the supper with Jesus. To explain it. That's why God says, come and invite me in, and I'll come and dine with you. He says, take of my body and eat of it, because my body is the bread of life. And drink of my wine. And that's the blood. I believe it's the ink as well. Our DNA is encoded with incredibly complicated instructions, and it also contains all our history, our blood. Our blood is our life, and it also contains our soul. So the womb, as I was saying, God creates it, and then it comes from his reality, okay, into the womb, and God then gives it the spark of life, and then it grows in the woman's stomach, and then when she gives birth, it comes out of a canal, okay, and this is all about maritime. That's why they're maritime laws, because this is all about, they've taken the canal of the woman, okay? The reality of where we come to from God's creation to this reality has been hijacked, so that we haven't got control when we're here, okay? So the image of God is hindered, if you like, but that's God's intention as well, because he doesn't want just anybody to be there and be made in his image. It's an honor to reflect the image of God, and this only comes through you walking in his steps and following Christ and believing as well. But if you notice in the Bible, God has a big argument with the devil because he wants to be like God. And you see, the devil cannot read your mind, and he cannot control your thoughts. He can put ideas in your head and bits of temptation, but he can't read your mind at all, really. But God can. But through the nano, that's the devil's way, so that he can be at the head of the temple, yeah, and rule your mind. Okay? And this is what all this infrastructure is that's in place right now. Okay? When you're sick, you get so ill, right? And when you die, you get worms. So what they've done is basically give you worms before you die, so that your body thinks that it's so ill and that you're going to die. Yeah. Backwards. Everything the devil does is backwards. And all of the movie stars are inverted. Males are females, females are males. Madonna's a man, Michael Jackson's a woman, right? Get to the beat and get waking up. Because you need to wake up, because we all have to wake up together. God says wake up from your stupor. Okay. So what we have then is we've got devices. Our TV is programmed as an interface to control your biometrics. Believe it or not, there's a patent in place for that. And there was a reset not that long ago. Jesus didn't die 2,000 years ago, right? And there was orphan trays, and then there was incubator fairs, mud flood, and all of those sort of things, right? We got world fairs as well. And we've got really strange tall buildings, got beautiful churches, got no bells because they're all buried on Belgrave Road in the UK. Every Belgrave Road must have all the bells. And so we've got history which has been rewritten. And when the Romans conquer, they always build on top. And all the conquerors actually just build on top of the town where they were before. So there's tunnels underneath, and there's real trafficking of people going on. And abortions and all this brought in to kill everyone. So that, well, to worship the devil, really. This Stingray and Pegasus is all part of it. It's a ray of fake light. It's to sting you, right? So in the Revelation, it tells you that the locusts come out and they sting you, don't they? They've got tails, like scorpions. And it's a false light, as in not the real light of Christ. And that's why the people who have had their mark of the beast are activated through Stingray. And if you follow the beast and the image of the beast. And I already told you that you rewrite a computer with an image, right? So this is all about photos. If your phone's hacked, They hack it through photos. Yeah, they embed their instructions into an image, which rewrites your whole phone. I already told you I understand all of this. So if you've got problems with your device, time to get rid of all the images. So Stingray and Pegasus is all about taking over your consciousness and your mind. I want to talk about how this operates also. So your phone is an interface for the spells and the programs and the mind control that is currently going on. It's called Project Stargate, and it is being operated at a world level. This is the largest project that they've tried to encompass and put in place, and it encompasses a grid in the ground and in the sky, okay? So your lights and your cameras and all of those things, those are all active. They're connected through the Bluetooth secondary World Wide Web that I told you about, and Stingray is also connected to that. And this is like the dark web, but it's only accessed by very high up individuals. It's no trace as well, so the operations of it are non-traceable. This is no touch as well, and this is the ether where I've told you about, alright, the she et, as in the ether, that the fifth element that they're operating with. That's where their power comes from, and that's why the woman has to strike the head of the devil, because he's robbed her of it. And the only way to free the people is for the head of the devil, because he's now going to be like God as the beast, right? We have to kill him, all right? Basically, the head is the operation of this thing, which is CERN. Okay. So basically what I found is back to basics, okay? When we put a SIM card in the phone, it's got it as an eSIM. Since our phones have become smarter, everything's about eSIM, so you don't really need a physical SIM. You don't need a SIM card in there. So if you're being hacked and stalked and terrorized, what you might want to do is get some throwaway SIM cards and put those in your phone and take them back out again. Put them in, take them out, go into the settings and remove the secondary eSIM for your real number, because you've had to use your number to get your text message alerts and things. And they're operating through the secondary SIM, right? So you want to remove it. That's what I have come to know, and I want to make you aware of that. This is the secondary SIM. Go into the settings, remove it. Have some, as I say, throwaway SIM cards as your main SIM card. You can tell that this is a known operation because there's no organization that will admit that this is happening or possible. The children of the devil are hunting down the real children of God. Pegasus stingrays being used. No one has built anything to scan your device to tell you that you've got Pegasus on it. Not accessible for public. Alright? So this means that they must be complicit with it, just like targeted justice is. And so what we have is an operation that's in place, and it's highly organized. It's funded by trafficking people and eating little children. And then we've got everyday people who are dumb because they've eaten too much of the Kool-Aid. Yeah, the wakey up stupid stuff. It's like the alternative awake, right? They think they're awake. And that's the other one. So just like they've done targeted justice to make you think that there's some help coming, the people who think they're awake, they think they're helping, but they're not. I've spoken to some of these people, and they go, "Oh yeah, I'm awake. Well, they worship the devil and they are awake, or they're dumb and they've got the wrong end of the stick. Your stick has two ends, you know that. Do you know that? Okay. So they got the wrong end of the stick and they've completely come up with a completely different answer to the truth. And this is where God says you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. He says, I am the truth and the way and the light, and you will want life, follow me. But those who don't want to know the truth and believe lies, they can't understand God's language, because God's language is truth. And the more truth that's in you, the more light that shines, because truth comes with light. So if you're at the wrong end of the stick, you're not going to get the light. And once you're there, then you can be completely taken over by the devil, who can completely blind you and confuse you. So, and this means that you have to put all pride aside and admit to yourself that you might be wrong. You might have some of the info wrong. Pride. God tells you that. He says, oh, pride. Those with pride won't make it. So you have to put your pride aside and you have to admit to yourself that you've been lied to and that you don't really know everything. No one knows everything. They've lied to us about everything. And they are going to continue to terrorize the children of God using the beast system, hiring neighbors, Pegasus and Stingray on your devices. Now, I always know when this is on my phone, but it only comes onto my devices when I use my SIM card for one of my numbers that I use. So, basically, they've come after me through my telephone number, okay? And it doesn't matter. If I wipe the phone, when I'm reinstalling it, it's got all of this in the back end of the phone. Just like they can locate you without a SIM card in your device, without you being connected to the internet. They want to locate your phone. They go from what SIM card was in the phone. So I want to bring that to your attention. If you look at the top of your phone on the left-hand side, where you normally have the signal bars of your phone's signal strength, you'll notice that if you're hacked and Pegasus and Stingray is being used against you, it'll have little bars that go diddle-da, diddle-da, diddle-da on your device. And that's because it's got its own little interface that it's connecting to. It is my belief that the people who have had their injection and have completely submitted over to the devil, as in they've got the wrong end of the stick with two ends, right? I've got one end and they've got another end. They're pulling on the stick and I'm pulling on the stick, and basically we're all going in the wrong way. And they think they're going the right way, right? And they get quite cross, actually, because you're holding them back. And I'm holding them back, and they're holding me back. What I've noticed as well, when their stuff is turned off, they start to become sick, cough, 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 and become really unwell. It's like they get punished because they're not connecting up with everything in my home. Have you noticed this? All right. So, like yesterday, I went out and I went to the Apple store. When I came home, everything was okay until they'd switched everything on, and they'd been in my home yesterday, for sure. My bed was perfectly lined up. I've got two mattresses on top of a bed base that splits apart. The bed base had completely split apart. The mattresses were totally off kilter. One mattress was further along than the other. And when I came in last night, I looked, and it's all perfectly lined up because they've obviously moved the bed and done their bits and pieces, because the bed is an aerial of some kind. It seems to be the main conducting thing. So I'm finding. So And also I had ringing and all this. So someone had connected up the TV, even though I'd wiped the TV, and my Bluetooth speaker and various other devices were active. And I know that because I am an EMF detector. And basically my phone has become an EMF network organizer as an interface. And they connect to it through the SIM card. Yesterday, when I went to the Apple Store and they were so unhelpful, I cried about it. And I said to God actually later, I said, wouldn't it be funny if everybody in the Apple Store, including the staff, became targeted individuals and got hacked because I went to the store and they connected my phone to their Wi-Fi. And so I pray in the mighty name of Jesus that this indeed is what happened. Okay. So, whatever they've done around my home has made my home so that it's like a conductor. This is wireless electricity, wireless Wi-Fi, wireless Bluetooth. Everything's wireless, okay? Lights are wireless, aren't they? All of the electricity is wireless. And reading your mind is also wireless. So when I want to transfer one phone to another, I just do it. Don't I? Hey. And it goes, look for a device nearby. Would you like to take over the number as well? Yeah, okay, no problem. We're not going to authenticate. We're not going to verify because we don't really care about that. And this means that gang stalkers can do this. As soon as you turn on your Bluetooth, they're in everything. And they seem to synchronize everything to Bluetooth speakers, and speakers can become microphones, okay? So, if you're a targeted individual, it's because the reason you're affected by the tiniest speck of damn fucking nano is because they've gone and dug drains. Now, I want you to imagine deep in the ground, there are big holes, right? And this is through-the-wall technology, wireless. And that's why they do the toilet pipes all around, okay? Did you know that they bury electrical wires in toilet type pipes? Did you know that? Yeah, to stop the wires getting wet. So, basically, the data centers are the main farms of this as well. So they're farming all this information. This is terraforming. It all goes into the data centers, right? And when you poo and you wee and poo-poo, which you shouldn't be putting down the loo, goes down the toilet with water which is pure and shouldn't be mixed in with poo and wee. Okay, I mean, I know this stuff. I just know it. Water should not be mixed with poo and wee. Then they go through all of the water which they use to conduct this exercise through the water with the nano in the water at entry and exit point of in your mouth and out your bum and out your wee. Just like the island where they want to monitor this guy's dreams and they put these little things in his eyes and he pees them out here. Okay, it's the same process, but this is at a mass level. And in this way, they've built a grid. Okay? The data centers are using water to cool down the data center. So this means that electricity and water, where you normally go, oh, you can't get water and electricity. You can now. And this means that plugs and plug sockets are obsolete. Okay? Don't need them anymore. For their electrical grid, they don't need to do any of this. They just connect it up through the smart meters and the grid. So you've got a smart meter on your gas, your water, and your electric. Then they connect your devices, your phones, your number, you, and all the stuff they put inside you with their little drains that they've connected to your television. Television. Okay? So I want you to imagine, close your eyes, and you've got a little house. And then you've got 4 little drains around it, okay? And then there is a square around that square, connecting up the 4 holes. And now you have a grid around your home. You've also got some aerials pointed at your house, and this is also done through aerials. Okay? I don't know if you ever watched that. Was it Ace Ventura? One of those with that actor, Bruce Almighty actor, same guy. He does all of those films, doesn't he, eh? And so basically you've got aerials and all of this, and the aerial guy, everything is done through aerials and meta. And that is also another important part. Now, I told you about this extra internet. Now, meta operates through that. All of the apps operate through the meta, third internet, which is the world of the dead. Where is that? It's next to your current internet. But it's also between reality and dream state and death. There's many dimensions in our reality, and they've also bent it and changed it. They've changed time, and they've tried to bend your reality. They've changed history, and they've changed all the times and the places. History is the story of the victor. Okay? Something happened, and they brought in electricity. Do you notice in the last reset? And they're doing that again with their electricity now. Okay? What can you do to stop it if you're targeted individual? Magnets. Get yourself some big fishing magnets and massage your head, massage your body, and eat salt. And you've got to do parasite cleanse regularly and clean your home like you've got no tomorrow. This stuff won't affect everyone because they haven't got a grid system set up around their home by the child-eating, blood-drinking, psychopath, neighborhood watch, traffickers of minds, souls, and bodies. This is the trafficking and buying and selling of minds and souls and bodies of people. They don't bury people anymore. They put people into the food chain. That's why you don't have any graveyards. They grind up people's bones and put them into the fertilizer. Okay, wake up. So yeah, I don't know what to suggest. Okay, I don't know what percentage of the food is human. Okay. Or meat, normal meat. I don't know. I believe McDonald's is your main chain for the recycling of human meat. But I was thinking about it. Bacon. Bacon, they just have endless bacon, don't they? Where's bacon from? Is it really from pigs? I don't know. I used to live on a farm. And we used to, I had a friend on the farm, and it was a cow, and her name was Lucy. And one day we had a flood, and Lucy broke her leg. And then I came home one day, and I noticed I hadn't seen Lucy for a while. Where's Lucy, Mum? Oh, she's in the freezer, dear. Okay, so, and we bred Hereford studs, which are really good, it's like Angus beef, right? Really yummy meat. And Jersey cows for the Jersey milk. And we had pigs, and we had ducks, and we had geese, and we had chickens, and we had sheep. And basically when we wanted to fill the freezer, we'd take one of these animals, kill it, and it would be hanging in the kitchen. Not joking. Where we have a carcass of a cow cut in half, hanging in the kitchen, in the farmhouse, and the dogs licking the blood off the floor. Can you see it in your mind? And that's what I grew up with, along with black people turning up with axes in their heads, right? So I've seen it all. But because I don't get to see where the carcasses come from, And the meat, where it comes from, I don't know what we're eating. I'm not a butcher. Have you noticed a lot of these Satanists are butchers? Have you noticed that? If you ever meet someone who trained as a butcher or as a child butcher, worked in a butcher's, this is because I believe they are butchers so they can cut people up. Because they're part of this in the background. If all the bodies don't go in the ground, then they're being put somewhere else. Oil and this sort of thing for your car is from human beings. That's what I think. Okay. Diesel, the same. Plastic windows from the bones of people. That's what I think. Alright, this is what I have come to believe. The world is not what I thought it was. And God has told me everything I know. And I read the Bible. And I read all these books. And I had dreams from God. He spoke to me. And also gave me many visions. My daughter also had many dreams from God. And I believe I've put together most of the puzzle pieces. I don't have the solutions, though. But we're in a mess when the team to help us is actually set up by our enemies. So there's something wrong when there's no company out there doing anything about Pegasus or Stingray. The fake children of God have pretended to claim the land, pretended to be, been killed and all this nonsense. Pretended. And they're the ones who created all these vaccines. They work with Bill Gates, Microsoft Word, the fake word of God. Yeah. And they're creating a different reality that you can't see in this third dimension of the internet. And I want you to think of it like that. Electricity you cannot see. Bluetooth you cannot see. Demons are invisible as well. Spirits you can't see. The realities of this world are merging. This is a bit like your dream state becoming your reality. And that's why this world's becoming a horror show. Because the grasp of the devil, which he is dead, death has got power here. And if you notice, the devil's not real, as in lived backwards. The realities have changed. Our dimensions, our perspectives have changed. And so, this is why I think God says that he crumples up this sky. Because everything's about what you believe. And I want you to, I know you've heard a lot of horrible things today from what I've said, but I want you to realize that Jesus said that if you believe, you can manifest anything. So you must believe when you pray that God has answered you, and you must create it in your mind, write it down and believe that this will happen. God will set us free just like he set us free before from Pharaoh in Egypt. This is the second Exodus that has to happen, and then we will claim our land. This is the way it has to be, because it's written this way. Okay? Our second claiming of the land and the second Exodus, the timing of it is very unclear. But I've had the dreams about it. And I believe those dreams. I know that if people are going to continue to do this, then they can't be real humans. I don't know how many people are real. But also, if you're a real child of God, then you most likely were swapped at birth. Okay? And the government really isn't your friend. Sorry. It doesn't seem that way. Everything's a lie. Time to wake up. Do your own research. Don't believe everything I've said. The data farms, if they start putting them everywhere, we're going to lose everything, guys. We need to get rid of the data centers, okay? Praise the Lord. Have an amazing day. It's Ayesha from God FM, and if you want to find me, you can find me on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon, Samsung, Chrome, YouTube, Apple, X, as well as TikTok and Telegram as God FM News, God FM New, God FM Radio, God FM Group, and God FM Media. Have a good day. God bless you.